Yeah, he really had a lot to say. He really got into it, and I think you guys are really going to enjoy this. So
He definitely brought out my 12-year-old girl. You'll hear why.
You'll hear why. So I guess there's not much more to say, and let's just get right into it. Steven?
Yes, hi, Jason.
Hey, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. Are you like doing back-to-back interviews?
Yes.
How much time do you have right now?
Oh, you're my last one.
Okay. So
Woohoo!
the rest of the day?
Yeah, a couple hours?
Yeah, we can be on for the next couple of hours. Yeah, we're good.
Okay, right on.
Lean back and pop open a frosty cold one.
So Karen, you wanted to warm Steven up.
So Steven, hi, this is Karen. Hello again.
Hi, Karen, how are you? Yes, thanks for having me back.
I'm so pleased to hear your voice. So first I have a non-zombie related question, and that is about the Red Wings. They're in 4th place. Do you think that they can pass the mighty Blackhawks?
I don't want to talk about it.
That's not a very good warm-up question.
We're missing a lot of leadership right now. We're in not the best place, but we'll see what happens. The Blackhawks look pretty good, though.
Go Detroit. That's my.
Go Detroit.
Hey, it's been. I looked back. It's been a long time since we last talked to you. It was actually October of 2011.
Wow.
I know. So Glenn has been through a hell of a lot since then, and I imagine that you've been through a hell of a lot since then. I'm wondering if you've changed as much as he has.
Yeah, I'm a raging a-hole now. I'm just a giant dick.
We're going to get to the letter you wrote to Kirkman.
Oh, boy.
That comes later. Yeah, I want to save that to the end because it's very spoilery, so I want to be able to warn people. But
okay.
No, seriously, like how you're a movie star now. Like, have you?
Yeah, I wouldn't know if I would say all that, but this show is definitely very popular. That's true.
And what about your life? Like, how's everything? Are you like getting more work outside of the show? Is it different for you on a day-to-day basis being out in public and things like that?
I mean, I am, getting to see a little bit more in terms of the work side. And also I'm getting to not be so inconspicuous when I walk around outside. But it's cool because, everyone that kind of loves the show really loves the show. So it's nothing but nice comments. So it's great. You can never complain.
Like, what do people say?
They say, like, I love the show. Our family gets together and watches all the time, just really sweet things.
Nice.
So it's pretty fantastic, yeah.
Well, if you just stop being so good-looking, then maybe people would leave you alone a little more.
All right. That's not true.
Okay, let's get into some actual Walking Dead talk. So, well, actually, I'm curious, like this last episode, it seems I can't quite tell exactly what's going on between Glenn and Maggie. I mean, I kind of get the idea, but it's a little amorphous. What's your take on it?
Well, the thing about television is you do have to tell a lot of story in a limited amount of time. And sometimes things don't get seen on camera that need to be seen, maybe to justify something. But, this is something that Lauren and I definitely wanted to hit. And, Glenn Mazzara was definitely, trying to have us hit as well, which is, when someone is victimized, if you truly think about, the thing about television is also this, is that, people's gut reactions are immediate. And if it's not kind of the way that maybe people have been presented that information in the past, it takes a little bit more work to kind of comprehend. For me, how it works with Glenn is you see Maggie of what Glenn has seen, he has seen her been thrown into his room, topless and crying, and the governor kind of gropes her in front of him. And for Glenn, as a young man, he can only kind of process that as in a really crazy way and in a really probably irrational way. And regardless of the fact that, you know, Maggie did tell him that he didn't touch her, you know, things can go crazy in your head. I don't know if people have, you or anyone that you know has ever been cheated on, but, you know, not to say that that is exactly the same, but just to show you the depths of what blind rage can do, is it can make you make things up in your head that aren't even close to existing. You know, it makes your head wander to places that you would never have imagined prior. But you know, when it comes to you having a lot of alone time and you just kind of fixating on that one visual, your mind can go to crazy places. And for Glenn, what he's doing is he's trying to justify to himself why he feels this way, and also what can remedy this. And for him, what can remedy these feelings of rage is to get back at the governor and kill him or exact revenge. And in that way, he's ignoring Maggie. He's pushing her away by treating her like a victim, continuing to treat her like a victim instead of comforting her and being there for her. He's actually saying, you know what? I know what's good for you. You stand behind me. I will take care of this. You go rest. I will take care of this. And I think that's the worst thing you can do. But it is a very common thing that happens. A lot of people that are victimized, their significant others do that and do behave that way, because I think it's a human nature quality of always looking to how to justify it for your own good, for yourself. It's a very selfish thing, and you don't see it till it's too late. And I think Glenn, at his youth, is there. He sees that right now the only thing that he knows are true is Maggie got hurt in some way, and I need to get him back for that. We tried to pepper that in early on, even in the conversation that they have between Daryl before he leaves. Maggie starts to talk, and I cut her off. She starts to say something. I just blast right past her and don't even let her finish. And, that was a conscious decision on Lauren and I's part to do that, to start, peppering these things in so that it shows the slow build towards kind of this moment where, Glenn eventually comes to Maggie, and is continuing to push her away and continuing to not let her say her piece or not let her come to her own conclusions about it or make her own peace with it. In a way, he keeps reminding her, even in that scene where he goes to her, while she's in bed, and he's in his own way reminding her of saying, remember when you got violated? Do you remember that? Do you remember that? We need to talk about this because you got violated. And if you keep saying that to someone, that can only be that's got to be the most ridiculous thing and the last thing you want to hear in that moment. And so I think that's what justifies Maggie's kind of pushback. And, and in the way that Glenn's processing it now also is he's totally irrational. He's thinking, even in that pushback, somehow you can justify it in his head that the governor caused this. The governor caused this rift between me and Maggie. It's not me. It can't be me. I'm trying to do the right thing. I'm trying to do the right thing by getting back at him. Look at what he's also done. He's put a wedge between her and I. And that's the crazy place that he's in right now. And so he goes off to do what he needs to do. And I think that's where Glenn is at this current point. And I hope that made sense for you guys.
It did. It seemed like maybe the way it played out in one of Maggie's responses, that also maybe at least she was thinking that there was some sort of irrational anger towards her on Glenn's part. Is that a part of it at all, or no?
You know, I think also you got to think of where she's coming from too. Is she's from no matter how well she's trying to take it, she's coming from a very damaged place as well. Mm-hmm. You know, it's kind of just two irrational people passing each other by and trying to do their own thing to cope with whatever they're dealing with. And it just so happens to be that Glenn's is more pressure filled and his is more kind of overbearing.
And she's retreating.
Whereas kind of Maggie's more. Yeah, she's retreating. It's a little bit more subversive, and yeah.
Okay, great. Thanks a lot. Our listeners are going to like hearing all that too. So awesome.
Speaking about your misadventures in Woodbury, you also got traumatized there as well. Your character with that torture scene. And can you describe your preparation for that torture scene? It was pretty crazy with the zombie and you being duct taped to the chair and breaking the chair. And can you talk a little bit about that?
I want to know, the logistics of it and just how it was to film it for you.
That was a really fun day. You know, I mean, when I read that scene, I originally looked at it as like, you know, this is going to be fun. Like, this is going to be a really cool scene to shoot, and I want to make sure that, you know, I get the visuals all in there. And, you know, me and Russell Towery, our stunt coordinator, went over some stuff. You know, I pitched some things, he pitched some things. We kind of came to like a very solid consensus of what we wanted to show, and the director pitched some things to Sakai, and he was there. And I remember on the day, you know, we're on TV time, so you don't have that much time to film things. And you know, he wanted originally a lot of camera setups to like get these isolated shots, and we realized that we were running out of time to do that. So I asked him, you know, can I just do everything myself? Can you just, you know? And he decided, like, we're just going to steady cam you, we're going to handy cam you. And so Glenn Brown, our camera op, who's amazing, he just handheld cammed me and caught everything as I did it in one take. And what was fun about it was I remembered to, you know, hit those beats, but at the same time, I was just so free to do whatever, and I was just so in it that, you know, stumbles were added, or, you know, certain moments were added, or things were picked up. And, you know, I have a great stunt double, Dante Ha, but in that moment, I mean, Dante did a couple of stunts that I don't know if they ever used, but I remember talking to Dan and asking him, please, can I do every single one? Because nothing against Dante, but it's just I don't want to have to obscure my face at any moment. I want everything to show the anguish of how terrible the situation is. And you know, it was great. And, you know, even the scream at the end was not scripted, but it just kind of organically came out as, you know, it just all came together, and it was fun. It was really fun.
That was one of the best sequences in the series so far, I'd say. Did you get, I mean, how was it for you when you saw it all together? Did you have any kind of reaction?
I'm not good at watching myself.
Yeah.
I realize that I need to watch myself maybe 2 times. Like the first time I just nitpick really hard, and I think I'm a terrible actor. And then I watched the second time, and then I realized that I am a terrible actor. So it's like, man. No, I know. Yeah.
It's hard. It's hard.
It's you know, it's hard to watch myself, but definitely, you know, what I did love about it was the scoring. The scoring was fantastic, and I love that Dan and Bear left those extra breaths at the end after the music was whoop, and then he let the scene breathe for an extra couple seconds, and I was like, that's really cool. I was like, that was visually a great choice. So, yeah, I mean, it was... I can only kind of take it from the experience. The experience was definitely fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I used to be a drummer in marching band, and we'd do these competitions, and I'd always hear all the errors and flaws in our playing, and then we'd go out and win. And so you just notice those little things about yourself, you know.
It's the worst.
But okay, so it sounds like that was a really fun scene for you to play. What are the most challenging kinds of scenes?
I think the challenging kinds of scenes are the ones where you kind of have just one thing to say. The hardest scenes for me definitely are when you have to pop in and say one line and then kind of get out of there.
Mm-hmm.
Just because you're focusing so hard on how trying to say that line interesting instead of just realizing like it's just one line, relax. But
Right.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, with all the emotional stuff and all the bigger scenes, what I love about it is all the crew, and the crew is so professional. They're right behind you each step of the way. But then the cast as well is so phenomenal that everybody's in it, and everybody can go with curveballs. They can kind of ride the waves and see how things differentiate each time they do the take, and it's really fun to play in that regard because there's no choppiness to the way we shoot. There's no like, all right, let's get your coverage. You go stand over there. You do this, and we'll just robotically get these lines. It's more like everyone's always available and present for the other person. So it's just a lot of fun. That's the whole point of acting. That's the whole point why you got into it. So it's cool to have that actually be your job.
Speaking of fun, a couple episodes ago, you had that great zombie head stomp on the ground. That kind of looked like fun.
That was really fun. I remember it was so funny. Andy is in that scene, and he wanted to watch the head stomp from the monitors, but Greg directed that particular scene, and Greg Nicotero, and Greg was like, actually, Andy, you're in the slight corner, so you have to stay in the scene. And he's like, damn it. Because he wanted to see what it looked like close up to smash that head, and it was nasty. It was so nasty, but it was so fun just because I just got to put all my rage into that, just stomping the crap out of it.
When you're playing a scene like that, or let's say a scene where you're fighting with Maggie and it's really intense, and then the director yells cut, what happens right after the director yells cut?
You kind of cool off, or you say, that felt great. I think what we're all kind of hoping for, there's a calm on the set whenever it's intense scenes like that, but the biggest satisfaction that I have acting in general and on our show is like walking away from a scene immediately as soon as you yell cut and being like, yo, that was good. That felt really good. And you don't even know if it looks good. You just know that it felt good and that it felt real.
Right.
And so for you, it's like you're chasing those moments. You're chasing those highs because, especially someone like Andy is chasing those moments because he doesn't watch. He doesn't watch the show, and he doesn't watch himself because he can't. He just doesn't like to.
Right.
But what he does is he chases those moments of like, that felt really real and very cool and very organic, and it's very I love it because that's exactly what we're there to do, and it's fun.
Part of it too, when I did my little stint as a zombie, there was one scene where I could see the looks on all the crew's faces that it was looking great, and that added to it. Does that factor in for you at all? Like if you can just tell that everybody else.
Yeah, I mean, like, we have some amazing people on our crew, and like, Mike Satrazinis, he's our, first camera up, and he's gonna be, I think he's our DP now, but he's amazing, and he's so intertwined in this show. All these camera shots, all these amazing lighting sequences, it's all his doing, and it's just to know that he tells you all the time, he tells me all the time, he's like, dude, there's nothing like being in this lens because there's nothing else outside of this one frame that my world is this frame. And so when I put my eye in this eyepiece and I close my other eye, there's nothing else. There's no camera crew, there's no nothing. You can't see anything. So it's just that frame. And to live there, he's there constantly, and he just says, like, when I see something good, it feels so good to watch. And it's cool to get, his feedback. And also, David, there's our focus puller for our first camera focus puller is a legend, David Galbraith. And when you get his stamp of approval, and he's been doing it for so many years, when you get his stamp of approval, you're just like, hell yeah. He lets you know when he likes something. Cool. He lets you know when you've done it. So it's cool.
That's great. One thing that people have been asking is, in this last episode, Glenn takes off after he's talking to Herschel. He just kind of takes off, but I don't think he said where he's going. He's just like, I'm going out there. And then he comes back pretty soon later. And so some people thought he went off to Woodbury. I thought maybe he was going around to check the perimeter. Do you know?
Mm-hmm. He was going around to check the perimeter. That's another kind of fallout of having a limited amount of time to tell a story. There was actually scenes that were cut where he does check the perimeter. But what's great about that scene, when we were doing that scene, is I tried to play it like he was going to go to Woodbury, but in the moment that Herschel stops him, he decides that he's not. There's a restraint and the calm that Herschel kind of brings to him that he still doesn't want. I know he's fiery and firing back at someone that is Herschel, but I think at the same time he still respects him and still wants to do right by him. He just doesn't know which to choose at this point. And I remember even watching that scene. I remember filming the scene, but I don't know if you go back and watch it, but Glenn walks back, and right when Herschel asks, like, where are you going? Where are you going to go? And Glenn hesitates. He hesitates. He says, no, I'm not. I was just going to go out there. And that was a moment of him just kind of coming to terms with, like, all right, I can't go. I'm not going right now, but that doesn't mean, you don't know what he's going to do. But then the stuff that was cut was him kind of checking on the perimeter and then hearing the gunshots and then racing back.
Mm-mm-mm. Yeah, because Herschel had just said if your anger is going to get you killed or something like that.
Mm-hmm,
so, okay. Do you? Okay, I don't know how much you want to talk about this, and it's cool if you don't. But I'm just curious how you feel about Mazzara leaving and Scott Gimple coming in, and how you feel about the future of the show.
I don't have much, say in what goes on in the upper echelon. I loved Glenn. Glenn, he worked his ass off for our show, and he's awesome.
We like
whatever the differences might have been. Yeah, he's fantastic, and whatever the differences might have been, that is what that is. I can also say that Scott Gimple is a phenomenal writer, and he's a phenomenal mind. So I think we're in good hands as well. So. Personally speaking, I don't know if I can speak on that, but it's where we're leaving off and where we're going is all intact, and we're good.
Yeah, we hadn't just had Nicole Beatty on, and she seemed really excited about work they're already doing on season 4. I was glad to hear that.
Mm-hmm.
When do you start filming again for season 4?
We don't have hard dates, but I'm guessing around May.
Oh, okay. So coming up. So you have a little break right now?
Yeah, a little break. Doing other projects in between, but a little break, yeah.
What kind of projects?
Maybe some feature films.
Nice.
Anything you can divulge?
Stuff you can't talk about yet?
I don't think I can divulge.
Okay.
But
that's fine.
It should be fun.
Cool. Yeah. Look forward to that. Okay, so we got some good questions directly from listeners this time. Lindsay Michelle Glenn wants to know, why are you so awesome?
I don't know.
That's a good answer. That's such an awesome answer. Okay, Daniel Palazzo wants to know, why hasn't the group found a Costco yet?
Oh, I don't know if there's Costco's in Atlanta. Are there?
I doubt it.
Maybe they did find one.
We didn't Costco's.
I don't know.
We didn't see them over the winter, so they might have found some big box store.
And also, you got to think they're more in rural Georgia right now. So all the places that Costco would exist probably are completely overrun with zombies. That's the first place that they would go to. So that's a bad idea.
Okay. Good answer.
bulk brains.
Sequoia Vasquez Orono wants to know, other than Walking Dead, what other TV shows are you into, if any?
I really like Community. I really like The Wire. I love Breaking Bad.
That's my favorite.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good television out there right now. I don't have time to digest it all, but there's a lot of good television.
Yep. This is a good one from Drea Ajay. Will the carefree, happy-go-lucky, hey, dumbass Glenn of old ever return?
I don't know. I think this character is evolving, and that doesn't mean he's going to lose complete parts of himself, but I don't think he'll come back to the raw, happy-go-lucky Glenn. I think he'll turn into a, more matured version of his prior self. Mm-hmm. So we'll see what happens.
I mean, I love this, how much your character's grown, how you've gotten to play different emotions. I do hope for that, though. I hope that there will be some lighter moments ahead, because that's one of the things that, I've always liked about Glenn, from a different perspective, through a different, prism, but that's one of my hopes.
I totally agree. I think the place that he's at right now is a very tumultuous place.
Yeah.
And so these are the defining moments that really kind of carry you through and carry over for the rest of your life. I don't think that means, that you lose all semblance of your core. And I think at his core, he's a good person. And because of that, there's no way that he could completely lose himself.
Mm-hmm.
Good to hear.
As he grows. Yeah, I think it'll come back at some point.
Okay, I want to get to just a little bit about the comic book. So if you guys listening haven't read and don't want to be spoiled, you should just skip ahead until like just a few minutes before the end of the podcast. Starting now, because I'm about to give something away. So in issue 100 of the comic, Glenn meets his tragic end. How did you find out about that, and what was it like to find that out?
Actually, my cousin put me onto it. He was talking about, he had just read 99. He's like, dude, something's up, man.
Yeah.
Like, things are not going well. And he was, he's been reading the comics the whole time, and he was like, whenever somebody has it all figured out and has it really good, they usually bite it. And it's issue 100. I think you might be going. And, like, I was like, whoa, that's crazy. So issue 100 came out. I bought it, read it, and I was amazed. It was so good. It was such a raw thing for Kirkman to do, a brave thing for Kirkman to do, and a genius thing for Kirkman to do, and then also a genius way to do it. Just a character that's been there for 100 issues, you literally don't even give him, like a goodbye speech. You don't give him like chance to say like, I'm gone. Like, you just end him like that. And I loved it. It's so honest and real. I loved it.
So you didn't have any feelings like I'm dead or any negative?
No, I mean, what's cool is like you look at it as from a story perspective, and it's if I go out like that on a show, that'd be incredible.
Yeah, and I agree. I agree.
Think about the lasting impression. Yeah.
I don't want a big speech. It's just not. It's better when, like with Axel in this last episode, right? Right in the middle of a sentence, boom. It's so more impactful that way.
But we hope that it's many, many, many years from now.
So Karen, Stephen wrote a really nice letter that showed up in the letters page in the back of Walking Dead after that issue. It started out, quote, "Dear Robert, I hope this letter finds you well." That was a lie. I actually hope this letter finds you with tuberculosis. And then it goes on, and then ends by saying that Stephen bought a sniper rifle and is coming for Robert. So I'm just wondering if anything ever came of that.
No, I mean there's a lot of angry words that came out. It was fun. It was really fun. I mean, Kirkman and I were talking about it, and we were at dinner one time, a bunch of us, and I was like, "Can I write you a letter?" And he's like, "Yes." And he was like, "Please make it like the most raunchy, terrible thing." And he wanted me to put a lot of like swears in it and just like cursing and
there's references to like a bag of dicks and stuff like that.
Yeah. But I try to make it more like absurdist, so which is more up my alley. And it just kind of stream of consciousness came out. It was fun.
Yeah, I recommend if you listeners to go get that issue number 102 just for that one letter. It's worth the price of admission.
The best is his response. His response is hilarious.
Oh, I went back to read it, but I didn't read. I forgot what he said. Do you remember anything?
Oh yeah, his response was like, I don't know who you are, but I think you could only hold. Like, I think there's only a few jobs you could hold, and one of them would be that of an asshole. And he's so funny.
So sweet. Karen, is there anything else you want to ask?
Yeah, I do. Do the zombie extras freak you out, or are you totally used to the zombie extras now?
Yeah, no, they don't freak me out anymore. But it's good to see wild card zombies occasionally, because then you're like, whoa, that one's crazy. So that you can get back into the mode of like being able to run away from them. The Russell Tolly, our stunt coordinator, he played the zombie that was in the chair scene, and that one was terrifying. It was disgusting.
Yeah. Those guys I'm impressed with. They're just ever more imaginative all the time. They always come up with something new and disgusting. But other than that, thanks a lot. This was great. I really enjoyed talking to you. I'm glad you could come back on.
Thank you for having me.
Mm-hmm.
Bye.
Bye.
What does it mean to live for the common good? Introducing the Garrison Institute presents The Common Good, the brand new podcast from the Garrison Institute, a leading not-for-profit organization exploring the intersection of contemplation and engaged action in the world. Hosted by me, Jonathan F.P. Rose, a co-founder of the Garrison Institute,